Call today's meeting of the Conway Committee Appearance Board to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our last meeting on September 11th. Do I hear any revisions or motions to accept? So moved. So moved to accept, that is? Okay.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. And then we're going to our Quattlebaum nominees. If you want to tell us about them, please?
Yes, so just to give a brief reminder, if someone's nominated in more than one category, I don't think we have any this time that are. The nominees can only win in one category. And then each category can have up to 2 winners. And then it is also not required that there be a winner for a category. So if the board does not wish to award it, they do not have to. This time, it would probably be best to take each category and make a motion for each category and vote as we go instead of doing them all together, as there is one category that a board member will need to recuse themselves.
Okay.
And then after that, you guys can take it away and discuss. We'll just go in order as the list that was included in your package.
First thing is, anybody that has other nominations are welcome to make them. So don't be shy if you got a good one.
These were CO'd in 2023.
Correct.
All right, the first group is outstanding restoration of a non-residential building. And I think all of these are downtown Conway, so look them over and make some comments if you would.
Jared, I think the lofts look great. Stella's looks wonderful. And the Realty One looks good.
They all look pretty good.
They all look pretty good. And the lofts and Stella's did everything they told us they were gonna do.
That's important.
Yeah,
Very
true.
important.
Without fussing.
I really like what Stella's did and brought to the, I feel like it's hustling and bustling down there all the time.
And it really did take kind of an eyesore, or not really an eyesore, but just something that was kind of plain.
It's a
Didn't change
tough one
much,
to
but they certainly
adapt.
did make it out.
Yeah. Yes.
What was that, Gary?
I said they didn't change much on the building, but they did make it active.
Correct. And, I'm sorry, so we can do more than one?
Yes, each category can have 2 winners.
2.
I would nominate Stella's and the lofts.
We have one nomination. Are there others?
I will point out that the Realty One definitely made an improvement, especially as its impact on Main Street. I do really appreciate the lofts for the extensiveness that they went through.
Stuck to the historical.
Yes, and also it's just, as being a larger building, it makes more of a presence downtown.
Okay, I still have 2 nominations. If there are no other, let's vote to accept the first one on Stella's. All in favor of awarding them, say aye. Any opposed?
We need a second before you vote. We didn't get an official second to either
I
Stella's.
second McKinney, both nominations.
Okay, there we go.
All right, that one will get an award. The second one is Laurel Lofts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to awarding the lofts? case, motion carries for those two properties. Next is, I lost my place already.
Outstanding new construction of a non-residential building.
Outstanding new construction.
Yes.
And the staff has one nominee, the Fairfield Inn out on 501 towards the beach. So, everyone take a look at that if you want to award it.
Were there any other new constructions?
There were other new constructions, but a lot of them were very bland, very cooker cutter. There was not a lot of architectural depth or design
Gotcha.
thought behind it, so staff just felt like this was the one that, out of all of them, provided the most architectural differentiation throughout the facade.
It's a good looking building.
I make a motion that we present it to Fairfield Inn.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further question, comments? All right, all in favor, do it by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Very good. Next is the outstanding new construction of a residential building. And staff has two of those. Remember, you can nominate your own if you know of one. That's 1001 Widgeon Drive and 4103 Highway 813.
And the same with this. There was quite a few new construction, single-family residences, non-commercial residences. But these kind of stood out to staff as far as the architectural design for the outside of the structure.
Nothing modern went up, I take it.
Oh,
Nothing Conway.
They look very similar. It must be the style, right?
it's very hard to find homes even within subdivisions. This one itself is within the Wild Wing subdivision. It's very hard to find any subdivision or houses within subdivisions that have a lot of differences that really make them stand out to be award worthy. So it's a very hard process for staff to narrow it down and find any, if that.
Also, remember, if you don't like them, we don't have to award anything.
Correct.
I make a motion, we move to the next category.
Second. Second. Okay, since there were, we'll skip a vote on that since there were no nominations. Next is outstanding restoration of an existing home, 102 Burroughs Street.
These are almost across the street from one another, aren't
They,
they? Or they really are.
They really
across
are.
the street from one
I snuck in this one while they were working on it. They did a great job.
another. Which one, 102 or 101?
102.
102, yeah, blue one. Or 1,000.
But the blue one became
Now,
one.
wait a minute. Okay, that wasn't listed on the other side. I apologize. There is 1001 Burroughs Street too.
That's in a different
Yeah, that's-
category.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's only one.
Oh, okay.
Then where is 703 Elm Street?
What is
In the
703?
last category.
What category is 703 Elm Street in? Because that was a beautiful renovation to
That's 705
705.
at the bottom.
Yes,
It's the last
705 is at the
category.
last.
What category is that in?
That is outstanding contribution to quality development, restoration, landscape, or design by an individual or an
Okay, so that's a
organization.
better category than.
Right.
We'll leave it there.
That's what staff felt as well.
And it's by itself.
That was a very hard decision.
It deserves multiple wins,
That's a
especially if it took 3 or 4 years or something.
That's exactly, that's exactly right.
Well, I will make a motion to accept 1002 Burris Street, or nominate 1002 Burris Street.
A second.
Motion and second. Any further comments or questions?
They did a good job on it. That's good.
All in favor of this nomination, is that by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, is nay? Motion carries. Okay, the next category is outstanding design effort for 1001 Burris Street. Now, what's the design of this? Because I know they repainted. What else did they do?
The front porch was redone, the railings removed, new railings added. They added a pool house on the side and the side rear, I guess you could say. And then they redid the fencing and the fence location for the entirety of the property. And the landscaping as well. And this one just worked out nicely that the contractor posted all these pictures on Facebook, so it was a lot easier to find pictures of this one.
There you go.
There's the overall view. Did they put in the pool too?
I think the pool was already there. That wasn't one of the, it was one of the features that they designed around,
I
but
got
it
you.
was already there prior to. Yeah, because in that bottom left, I know it's really hard to tell, but the bottom left and the top right there, you can see the previous fencing around it, and the pool was behind the fencing. And then on the bottom left, where the fence is, that's where the new pool house structure was added, and then the porch was reworked.
Make a motion, we nominate 1001 Burris Street.
I second.
We have
I like the black.
a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Next is the outstanding signage project. We have several to choose from here. 705 Main Street, the Dunes Law Firm, 328 Main Street, Power Comics, 1100 Church Street, Conway Daycare, and 1931 Fulmer Street, the Early Start Daycare.
I would recommend 705 Main Street.
A classic sign for Conway Main Street.
I would like to nominate Conway Daycare.
A very imaginative sign.
And I will
I like
second,
that
I
one
will
too.
second your nomination.
I think on 501, when there's so much other things to look at, and you're driving down and you see that, and somebody thought really hard and they did a good job and came up with a
Where is that
fun
located?
sign,
Right beside past Nice,
just past 9.
across
Okay.
from the Marine.
okay, yeah.
Makes you smile when you go by it, I
Yes.
think.
I'll have to look
Yeah.
for it next time.
That's where the old church was?
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, the old church, okay.
And it's out of the box.
Okay, we have two nominations. I haven't gotten a second on either one. The first one is.
I seconded the daycare one.
Okay.
I'll second the Dunes Law Firm, 705 Main Street.
Two nominations. First is 705 Main Street. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. The other is 1100 Church Street for the daycare sign. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Good choices. And last one,
Do I need to recuse myself?
yes, you do.
Okay, I'll please recuse myself on the last category. I will
Outstanding,
correct that, it's 701 Elm Street.
Sorry, okay, thank
That's
you.
all right.
outstanding contribution to quality development, restoration, landscape, or design by an organization or individual. We do have just one in the category. 701 Elm Street.
I nominate 701 Elm Street.
We all want a tour. Second.
You're ready, come on
Motion.
by.
Should we adjourn the meeting and tour it before?
Yeah.
There you go.
I think the missus might want a warning. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, denote by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. And that's the end of the list. The next item is on the, is up for discussion is the tree preservation ordinance.
Yes, sir. We just wanted to supply you guys with the entirety of the ordinance with the updates that we had discussed. There were a few updates that ultimately staff, after research, decided not to include. But we wanted to give you all this. Your section that, with all the changes in it, starts on page 27. So if you will, between now and the next meeting, just take this with you, review it. If there's anything that stands out to you that you still would like us to look into or would like us to change, then at the next meeting, we would wish that you let us know that, or you can submit that to us beforehand. We can look into it and address it at that meeting, but we would like to attempt to have a vote next meeting. That way we can then take it forward to council for a workshop on the 21st before your meeting, if you want to tune into that, and then it would go before council officially in hopefully December. We were shooting for November, but we may push it to December.
Thank you for removing crepe myrtles.
You're welcome. That is something that we did per the board's request, but again, ultimately council will have the ultimate decision. And that is something that we'll let them know that we did decide to do, and then let them go from there.
Magnolias are next.
Yeah, that's a fight I don't think we'll win.
Probably not.
I could actually see a crepe, a magnolia having to be on there, even though I don't like them.
All right, just remember Katie gave y'all homework this time. So please be prepared for the next meeting.
Katie, did the staff discuss existing properties with existing trees and renovations and additions?
Yes, we did discuss that, and then with the amount of trees that we currently have that are either protected or landmarked, as well as reducing the size from 30 to 24, the amount of trees that it would include at that point in time is almost to a point that our staffing would not be able to accommodate, keep up with, but it is something that I did discuss.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Right now, a landmark tree, if you buy a piece of property, and it has a landmark tree on it, and you build a house, and there's no way around it, you can tear that landmark tree down.
If it's within the footprint and there's no
Right.
other designable options around it, including variances.
Correct.
Right.
But if you own a piece of property with a house on it, or a commercial building, like the Purple House wanted to add the storm porch on the back,
Right.
there's no way to tear a landmark tree down on a piece of property you have our house already developed,
No, sir.
short of going to a ZBA.
Even then. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you have to exhaust all your options at BZA anyways, to prove that there's no other design option, but the ordinance states it has to be disease, dying, has to be causing visible damage to the foundation, things like that. But like we discussed at the last meeting, the whole point of the preservation ordinance is to preserve these trees. And if we added any type of or added it in there that would allow me to put a bedroom addition on my house and tear down a landmark live oak just because I wanted an addition, that's really kind of defeating the entire purpose of our ordinance. So that was one reason staff decided not to include that.
It's kind of like building a house or a property. You got,
Yeah, essentially, but that is why if you build a house on a vacant lot and there is a landmark tree, you have to exhaust all
Right.
possibilities before we can ever, or the board could even consider to give you
Okay.
permission. Yep. And that is a, hope we never get there kind of situation. I'm sure there is somewhere out there that will be
there
like
will
that.
be, I'm
Um,
assuming.
But design variances would be heard and would be heavily considered by BZA before that was ever.
So ZBA would have the option of allowing it to be removed because that's where you appeal the permit to.
Well, they would allow, design modifications in our design standards, say your house wouldn't meet the setback because of the tree, then they would give you a variance on the setback before removal of the tree. And then if the tree board still just said, no, you can't remove it, then they could appeal that decision to BZA
Right.
with this amendment.
And if you don't, if you have an existing structure and you want to tear the landmark tree down, this doesn't allow it, but it allows the appeal to go to ZBA, so ZBA could allow the landmark tree to come down because during the appeal process.
Correct. Jessica, back me up on that one, make sure that is correctly my understanding of this question.
Just to make sure.
So you're saying that,
I just want to make sure there's some way that existing property owner, especially now that we're
it's
changing,
not
making
like
a landmark tree smaller than, it will, 24 inches,
right,
that existing property owner has the ability to, and I
Appeal
don't
your
have
decision.
I do not have a specific property in mind right
Right.
now. But if somebody wanted to add on, a pool house or a pool to their house, they could go to ZBA and ZBA would have the option of doing it or not.
they could appeal the board's
Right.
decision if the board decided to
Right,
deny.
and tree board, per this, tree board couldn't do anything.
Correct.
So tree boards will be automatic denial, and then they'll go to ZBA and say, okay,
And then if the BZA decided to uphold your
BZA, yeah.
decision, then they could appeal it to the courts.
right, okay,
To
perfect.
certain-
As long as there's an option, is
Yes.
a path forward, I'm good.
Yes.
And thank y'all for spending all this time on this. I know y'all have spent a lot of time on this.
Yes.
All right, anyone have any more questions for Katie or Jessica? In that case, next item is public input. We only have a non-committed public here. How about board input? Let's congratulate the city on the decorations, by the way. I've seen more people downtown. It's getting frustrating almost to make it downtown these days.
It is always hopping, that's for sure.
Any staff input?
Not this time.
Please take note of the upcoming public meetings. You may want to attend some to see what they think of us. And if there are no other items, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. We will adjourn by acclamation then.